I would like to be the commentator.
That's not my thing.
Okay. You have strong opinions.
Oh, but you called ours, right?
But
You know that Tony Roberts is the Welsh champion, right? See that?
I don't know. I know so little about Wales. Welsh champ? I keep about Wales.
What's going on?
He was unsighted. He didn't see it. Unsighted.
15 people who took the wrong subway. They thought they were going.
It's the oldest active handball court in the world. And it's the only one in England.
Shows.
I'm watching a line.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You can watch it, Dennis. It's not going to move. And you're on the wrong side of it anyhow. You should be on the inside. You don't know the story about Tony Roberts and Wales.
No, please tell.
Paul was taking. Can you hear me?
Sure.
When Paul was taking.
I can listen or I can do this.
Okay. When Paul was taking, geez, I think he had 12 or 13 people to Wales. May. Beginning of May in 95. Yes. That's Island of October 9th. May of 95. Everybody who was supposed to go was there, essentially on time, except Caesar Salas. So Paul called up the courts at Coney Island to try to find out where Caesar was. And Caesar was sitting there. Caesar thought we were leaving the next day. He had like an hour and a half. And he did manage to get to the plane on time. But Tony Roberts was there. And that's him on the left. Why they're both wearing caps?
Outside.
All right. Just notice they're both wearing caps. Tony Roberts is there, and they won't let him go through the gate because he has an expired passport. He's lucky in some way. He has a Jamaican passport. He doesn't have an American passport. He has an American passport. He couldn't just go and get it renewed instantly. So he goes then the next day, early the next day, he gets his Jamaican passport renewed, and he finally gets the plane the next day. He's a day late getting to Wales. And when he gets to Wales, he and Caesar, the two late people, win the doubles, and he wins the singles. Did Paul never show you the picture of the court in Wales? Oh.
Is it very different?
The court has a front wall that is 30 feet by 30 feet. It's 80 feet long.
So that means everybody has to
It has
adjust their...
side walls that come out 30 feet. They don't come out at a right angle. They come out spreading out at an angle of 95 degrees instead of 90 degrees. so that if a ball hits the front wall and then the side wall, instead of bouncing off as you would expect, it practically slides along the side wall. A court was put up in about 1865, and it's been in constant use since then.
Well, you're proving to me that I know nothing about handball. I had no idea that this was.
Well, why do you do this if you know nothing about handball?
It's fun. It's an adventure.
Point
I do
four,
things that are just for fun.
To have a handball program.
Yeah.
side out. First serving, score is 10, serving 4.
Come with me this coming weekend. I'll be in West Palm Beach, where they're having a tournament, the four-wall tournament, the Legends of Handball, the Handball Hall of Fame Club.
Who's going to be?
Every legend of handball.
Including Vic?
Vic, yeah. As it happens, I'm staying with him.
12, serving 4.
He's a wonderful guy. I like him.
He is a tremendous guy.
Hold it.
It wouldn't have been nice if Ruby had shut his mouth and let Vic talk.
Yes, isn't that the truth?
12, serving 4.
But, you know, I was happy to get him under any circumstances.
I wouldn't walk over there because Ruby was there, even though
Point
Vic and I had
13,
come
serving
together.
4.
You really dislike him.
Dislike him.
Second server, 13, serving 4.
Phil Collins, John Stone.
Could Vic still play?
Yeah.
Because I know he was complaining about his knees.
He has two artificial knees. He had his hip done. Had a back operation.
First server, 4, serving 13.
Still plays and covers the court like an octopus. The only thing is he doesn't run in on a low shot.
Because he's afraid of his back? Or?
Well, I know it's his hip or his knees, but he doesn't go for the low
Point
shot.
5, serving 13.
He looks very healthy. He looks great. You know, we should all have his strength and his vigor.
Serving 13.
You want strength and vigor? Go to Tom's River, New Jersey.
What goes on there?
They have the last man to win the American Hardball Championship.
Second
Bill
server,
Laurie.
score is 6, serving 13.
He was 83 years old and probably could exhaust anybody in the gym.
And Vic is about, what, 77 now?
Vic is 77 in September.
Oh, he looks great.
Second server, score is still 6, 13.
Stevie is, what, 52, 53?
Long.
Steve? Jeez, I don't know Steve. 61.
Oh, is he?
30.
Side out. First server, 13,
Yeah,
serving
he's about
6.
55.
You know, seeing these guys and having seen the best, you must feel as if
Point 14, serving
the
6.
game was under decline. And of course, that is great.
There's so many things different.
Also,
You have many fewer people playing one ball than you had in the 30s. See, essentially, one wall can be divided. I think maybe even four wall can be divided into four world war tournament. Four world war tournament.
Big Blue, yeah. actually, they managed to adapt quite well to this game.
Well, they're terrific players. They've got a lot of talent.
Because the bounce is very different now with a small ball. Everything is different.
And you see, another reason for the breakdown of traditional one ball beside the big blue is that there's much more access to four-wall courts than there used to be. I mean,
Some.
no,
Most people, in the suburbs have the full wall.
but there's much more access. There was never that kind of access to four-wall courts before World War II, before the racquetball explosion.
But I
There was
remember
no
in the
such
city,
thing. Okay, so Union Temple is one of the places that's out. But Union Temple and let's say Union Temple, Brooklyn Central, Bronx, they've been replaced tenfold by private clubs, which are not discriminatory. Private clubs used to be discriminatory.
like Jews.
No Jews, no Italians, no this, no that, whatever people on they could make any rules they want. They were truly private clubs. Whereas today you have private clubs. You can't discriminate against anybody. Whoever pays the money comes in. So they're private, but they're not private.
Right.
They're open. So that anybody can go in and play football.
How do you New York Athletic Club, which used to be like almost a kind of center
And it's still
of the capital?
New York Athletic Club was an old boys network type situation, just as the Olympic Club was in San Francisco, the Detroit Athletic Club, all these private athletic clubs, the Town Club in Chicago. After World War II, they had to change. The society changed. They had to become American society. So now you have essentially, they're not wide open. They're still not wide open. They're still in every branch of society, discrimination practiced in very subtle ways, but it's still there. But at the same time, you can still get in. There are all these racquetball clubs. Unfortunately, the racquetball clubs are going out of business. They're turning into health clubs. So we're going to have another change in some way as far as handball is concerned. I don't know about my figures. My suspicion is at one time there were 12,000 members of the SOJ. Right now there are 8,000. They're going up a little, maybe there's 8,000.
I would have figured more.
Almost 8,000. Now, I play at a place where maybe there are 50 players, four-wall handball players. I don't think 50 pay their $25 to
So they don't have to.
and that's four-wall players. The one-wall players, it's the number of players, the percent of players is much smaller.
So then they have to figure that there's no advantage.
That's right. That's right. They're not interested in other tournaments other than the ones around the corner or nearby. They're not interested in real competition. They want to play. They come when they want. I mean, we have guys who are members of the club. Well, okay, let's get together. We're going to play. Well, Joe shows up. They show up essentially when they're in the room, half of them. If they can't control their life, just showing up with a little group, like having a bingo game, have a card game, let's go out every Thursday to a restaurant with couples or something.
Really don't want to get over it.
A lot of the problem, people say, as you said,
I found that in the 70s in basketball. I think it's a national change in how people, how they perceive themselves. Because I think when I came up, everybody was pretty organized, and they would never quit. And they took a tremendous amount of pride in showing up and excellence and all those things. And in the 70s,
Commitment and responsibility don't exist anymore.
yeah. So I think it was reflected in handball.
Okay, I certainly go with that.
I mean, I saw people in the middle of the Facebook and just walk off the court. You know, just go home. And they never thought anything of it. And I thought there was going to be tremendous disapproval, you know, out of the peer group, and nothing happened.
Yeah.
So,
In many ways, it's a mirror of our society. It shows that our society doesn't accept responsibility.
right. But at one point we had the work ethic. 171. And it's been on. But you know something? Players who we're watching now, Mickey, all have the work ethic.
Well, that's why they're here.
Ferocious people.
Yeah, but that's why they're here. No matter what the hell you do, you're always going to have a few people that do it. I don't care what it is. If it's what is that? Tiddlywinks. If you had a tiddlywinks group, you'd have a couple of people that are dedicated, they're going to be involved in tiddlywinks. But the problem I think that we're discussing is why don't you have many more players involved in handball now?
Yeah.
The players that are not here are the ones that we're discussing. The shortcomings of the people that are not here. What can we do to bring them here? I don't know that there is an answer. I don't think there's anything we can do.
Well, I think as the money goes out of the society, you know, the morals will change. I'm going to have the same.
Outside.
Oh, the lighting in this place is impossible. The lights keep going on and off.
Right.
771.
Yeah, even if it's a gray day, you can set it up with that kind of light, and you don't have the sun shadows. Yeah, right. No, I find it very difficult to see.
Well, that's what Torres was complaining about. He said that after he played for a while with these lights, he couldn't, you know, he could hardly see them.
Yeah,
He was kind of guessing where it was.
absolutely. And this isn't as bad as the other wine area. I played in there a couple of times. This is sunshine by comparison. The other was so dark. My partner had good eyes. He never knew when the ball was on the side of the court. I used to have to tell him. So dark.
That's bad.
Oh, so dark.
See, well, the way this thing is lit, all the lights go in. And, you know, that's lethal in a game.
Wow. It's bad enough that they aren't even all on.
That's true.
See, these two guys in the front, they got the quickness that you need in ping ball. As long as their hands can adjust, they can play this game.
Well, the thing that I noticed, if you move from the big blue to the small ball, the jump on the ball is much greater. There's all kinds of spins. And you have to wait until the ball hits the floor to make a decision about how you're going to return the ball.
You're talking about a problem with the hooks
Yeah.
that the big blue players don't have.
That's right.
Well, on the other side of the coin, they are so much more used to immediate determination of how to go for a ball that it really doesn't bother them that much. because they're used to taking the ball very quickly.
That's true. But I know when Al Torres,
He started out as a pinball player.
oh really? Because he has that wonderful hook and all those wonderful spins, and if you took that away from him, he's a better player.
Well, he doesn't hook it during the volley.
That's true.
His hooks are during the
On
serve.
the serve.
Years ago, there were guys who used to hook it during the volley, too.
I never saw that. How come certain players like Howie Eisenberg, he was an excellent player, but he never won a major tournament?
Outside.
What sport would you like to find the equivalent?
9-7-2.
I don't know.
You can find that in every sport. Somebody is just less than the best. They're great, but they're just less than the best. Every sport has somebody who's a great player, or probably many great players. That's something I'm working on right now. I'm getting the...
2, serving 9.
trying to get the records from the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. Not who won the tournament. I know who won the tournaments. But even trying to find out who came in second,
There's more to do?
it's almost impossible. You can't find the results.
I would have
New
thought.
York Times essentially stopped reporting about handball after World War II, and that's the base of information. But as I find more and more information of semifinals matches and see who the Final Four were, there are people who are always in the Final Four and who never won a title. And they're in there all the time. Nobody knows their name.
You know, it's funny. I played this game, played it off and on for about 30 years, and I was never great at it. I was never even good at it. I was just pretty competent at it.
You're in with the 90% of us.
Right. But it just struck me that
95%.
yeah. But it just struck me there's a different attitude if you have the kind of talent of a few of the people that we have at it. Either they get very crazy or very wonderful. It seems to change them. Know that they are wonderful.
My boss is calling. What do you want? Oh, I'll do that. I have to listen to my...
Okay. Okay, Al Torres is serving. And he has those wonderful hooks. Sostre. Here comes Robert Sostre with a red shirt. Good shot by Caesar. Wow. Fell down. But you know, I was thinking apropos of what you were saying. How marvelous a guy like Vic is, or a guy like Oscar is, and with other people they're like slightly demented. And the talent.
Do you know that Oscar played for only 10 years?
No.
His career went from 1954 to 64.
And he won everything.
Yeah.
How did he play against Vic?
Well, age difference of, let's see, Oscar was just 65. His age difference, let's see, is the same as the age difference between Vic and Jimmy Jacobs. Oscar was as old as Jimmy Jacobs. 13 years difference, I believe, in their ages. So there's no real comparison.
Yeah. So they never really met at the time when it was.
No. When Vic and Jimmy met in the big four-wall matches, they were 13 years difference.
Is there some age where you see a decline in handball players in general, or is there some?
Well, years ago, if a handball player was 30 years old, he was too old.
Really?
Much too old.
That's like basketball.
The good players were all in their late teens and 20s.
How come? Now, what time period is it? The extra step that you get? Or?
What time period was that? I don't know, 30, 40 years ago. And longer. I don't know. Look at Al Torres. Was in his 40s and was as good as anybody else. I think he's already past 50 and he can still swing.
53, you can really hit.
60.
In one game.
He'll be winning at 41. Santa was 40.
Well, comparatively recent years, last 20 or 30 years, it had changed.
Thank you.
You know, it's funny when Al gets on the court, he really dominates. he goes right into it. I mean,
Yeah, but he's smart enough not to take balls away from Robert.
I thought he took Robert's ball away.
No.
See, in a way, you know, because Robert's ambidextrous, it's hard to tell what's his.
8, serving 11.
Since I first saw Robert, I said if Robert worked the job like anybody else, worked hours like anybody else, he'd be so dominant that nobody could come near him.
11 serving.
The last 3 or 4 years.
What kind of a job is he got?
He works at night in the Hunts Point market.
So he's always sleeping.
Many times he doesn't show up for a tournament because he is sleeping, doesn't sleep. Shows up late, showed up late many times.
Well, that must be painful to show up. You haven't had sleep in 14 hours and you know what you can do. And very frustrating.
Aside from the fact that it has to ruin your time.
Yeah, right. He's probably never at his best.
And he plays hurt all the time. He never stops. And he plays paddleball all the time.
He's
Two totally different swings.
That's true. And he isn't very temperamental. He doesn't.
Absolutely not, no.
He's a sport. Totally concentrated on what he has to do.
That's the way Oscar was. Oscar never once opened his mouth in the 10 years that I watched him play.
Yeah.
Never